particular?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't think I do.
Okay. I'm writing a
There's
book.
nothing I particularly discuss. Sorry.
Okay. I'm writing a book, so I talk to all types of people.
Cool. You're like a people person.
What kind of person?
You're like a people person.
Well, I decided to start writing on the book, and I'm trying to gather as much information as I can, trying to talk to
About what?
people, get their opinions. I'm writing a book on anti-man laws in the United States and radical feminization.
I see. I like.
Meaning, I want to kind of shed a light on how modern, you know, feminist fighters, they are killing a family, basically, and how all the, especially in the liberal states, how the anti-man laws, they're destroying modern marriage.
You're so right.
Do you have any thoughts on that subject?
Nope. Zero.
I'm assuming you're not married.
No.
Okay.
Fuck that shit.
And let me ask you, why do you say that?
Um, you see, I feel like marriage nowadays is just like a transaction. It's not really like there's no substance behind it anymore.
Why do you believe a marriage? And some people say that a beauty and a sex are becoming nothing more than a transactional in the last several decades. Why do you think that's happening?
I have no fucking clue. I really couldn't tell you. Like, it's just like I feel like women don't like men anymore and men don't like women anymore. It's just like we're starting to not like each other.
And what do you think is a
Like men think women suck and most women think men suck.
and why do you think that's happening?
I don't know. Me personally, I don't give a fuck. Like we're just kind of all here to live and die. Okay, whatever. But like people take that shit so seriously. Like gender roles and gender norms of this whole thing. And don't even get me started on that. It's just like dumb.
Some
Really
people
dumb.
say that 95% of women are attracted to only 5% of the top guys. Do you think that's the case?
Yikers. I'm not the one to ask. I've dated some pretty ugly guys.
Because
Like, chill. I don't know.
sometimes I watch some of the interviews of women on the street, younger ladies, and some of them. Listen, I'm not gonna judge, but some women just don't take care of themselves at all. And
Type shit.
however, they demand, oh, my man needs to earn at least half a million a year.
They're like 6 figures. He needs to be 6'5" with a big dick and this and that. And I'm just like, what? No. Okay, let me give you my view. I want a man that's equal with me. I want to have a stable job. I want to be making money. I want to be able to support myself. And I would expect my partner to do the same. It's obviously like things are going to happen. Like, okay, that's why we're together. We work together. We're a team. It's not like one person just takes care of the other person,
Yeah,
like babies them. No,
one
it's a
person is pulling and the other
together.
one is dragging.
I honestly, listen, I've been in a relationship like that. where it was like I was just kind of doing everything and I was expected to just like kind of be the backbone and they don't do shit. And it's just like, no. No. If you actually liked me or wanted to be with me, I would see the effort trying to make things work with me, not forcing me to do everything.
Sometimes you look at the couples, and it puzzles me how you might have a top guy, and you look at his wife, and she is not even close. And sometimes you look at a woman, like you said, she's working, she's making something of herself, and the guy is just dragging. He's just a biomass lying on the couch. And my question is, how do you choose one another? What do you find attractive about him, and what are you finding attractive about her?
Honestly, I
Where's
feel like a lot of it has to do with how people change. People can start off as one thing and end up being another thing because I've noticed in relationships, the whole honeymoon phase and then shit starts getting real because things start off with I want to seem appealing to this person. I want to, I want to please this person and then you become comfortable and you start becoming yourself, then they see the real you. I feel like that's a lot of it. Like people try really hard and then they just give up and then what it's stuck with just one person trying and then you know they don't make ends meet and then so on and so forth. People change, but then again, once you see that change, you see someone's not consistent, you could just like be like but then again, sometimes it's too late. And especially with like I want to say like societal norms for like the genders, you're supposed to settle down, or at least with my family, you're supposed to marry someone. Once you marry that one person, you're stuck with them. And if you get a divorce, you're looked down upon, or it changes the way people view you, right? You can't, that, do you understand what I'm saying?
absolutely
Some people just stick with it because they're like, oh, you can only get married once. Or there's this like thing where
no.
it's like, once you get married, that's it. You're stuck with this person. And then you're like, okay, yeah, now I'm stuck with this.
Have you ever heard of 70, 80, 90 rule?
No.
I'll explain it to you if you don't mind, and then I want to get
Of
your
course.
opinion on that. 70, 80, 90 rule as far as marital relationships are. That in the United States and in Canada, uh, 70% of the couples get divorced. 80% of time, that divorce is initiated by a woman. And 90% of the time, even if there are no children, woman benefits financially from the divorce. And that's a hard statistics for last several decades. Do you have any thoughts on
Hmm.
that?
I don't, I mean, if it's numbers, it's numbers. Can't really deny that. That's crazy. What the fuck? That's very unfair. Very, very unfair. That's not, like you said, anti man laws. It's like, that's retarded. I'm sorry to use that word, but that's fucking retarded.
I'll give you a situation, and you let me know if it's fair. We're not
Hmm.
going to talk about being legal or illegal, just if it's fair to a man. Let's say we're both adults, you and I, right?
Hmm.
You have two children, and we meet somewhere. We really like one another, and we decided, we date for several months, and I'm pretty successful. I'm not gonna say that I'm ultra rich, but I'm relatively successful. Uh, and as the time goes on, you start saying, "Hey, I'm having a problem with my landlord. I'm renting an apartment, blah blah blah," and it kind of slowly works into like, hey, I'm living by myself. I got a house, and you just renting with two kids. And I say, you know what? How about you move in? Why do you need to rent, especially with all the problems you're having? I got the whole house to myself. Move in. You don't need to pay
Are you
anything.
trying to say the woman's trying to use
No,
the
no,
man's
no.
availability
That's
to?
that's only beginning.
Mhm.
There's a little more to it. So you move in, and hold on. It's and we start living together. You have your job. I'm, a lot more financially secure than you are. Um, and we've been living like that for 3, 4, 5 years. And you have your two children. Mind you, we never get married. There is nothing official. I never adopt your children. Those are not my children. There is no adoption. There is nothing legal, right? And like in California, for example, and I think even state of New York, I think if you live together just under one roof as kind of pretending to be husband and wife, most of the courts see it as being a husband and wife, and both are afforded the same rights and responsibilities as a husband and wife, right? So we live for 5 years. At the end of the 5 years, or as soon as 5 years run out, all of a sudden you start saying like, "Hey, I really don't think it's working out too well. I don't have the same feelings, blah, 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 blah." And I say, you know what? It's fine. I understand. No big deal. Obviously, you can move out at any time. I'm not pushing you out. You can go on with your life and all that. So, after a little while, you move out. And you would think that's end of story, right? No. You go to court and you file for alimony for yourself and for your children. Most people would say that's insane because you were never married. You never adopted your children. That's like a stranger coming in, living in your house for a little while. You don't have any rights to anything. But not to ultra liberal states like California, where it's obviously anti man. And I am spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on my attorney fees because I can afford it. And even with some of the top lawyers that I have, you know what the court tells me to do? That I have to pay alimony to your children until they are 18, which is next 10 years. And because I was making a lot more money than you are, I have to pay you alimony for next 5 or 6 years. And that alimony is like triple of what you're making at work. So you quit your work, and the courts are not even asking, are you working? How are you supporting yourself? They don't even. Well, it is what it is.